Goodness gracious. Hey, Margaret. How are you, honey? I hope you enjoyed having Dee and Wanda with you. Must have been so much fun. So here we are back at another Thursday. And I am playing with tonight. Let me pull out the stamp set. What did I do with it? It was right here. Oh my goodness, here we go again. Magnolia Mood, where are you? I cleaned up, so it disappeared. Hold on one second. Here it is. It's under my computer. All right. So we're playing with Magnolia Mood. Now, this is an online exclusive, so it's not in any catalogs. You'll just find it in the store and in the online store. And when you sign in to stampinup.com and you click on the upper left hand corner to see what you want to search for, it's usually under what's new, and there's or it has its own online exclusive icon, and that's where you'll find this. And it also comes with, and mine are a mess because I did not fix them yet onto a magnetic board, but it comes with dies. So it'll die cut the large flower, this one here, and my room must be warm because my glue dots are not working again. This small little flower, and then this flower here, it cuts out, and then it has some various leaves. Okay, so tonight we are using soft sea foam, mossy meadow, and bubble bath. Those were my three choices tonight. And let's start with this one. So there are some things that I have to do. I am going to have to die cut the bottom piece. Hey, Karen, you got your order today? Wow, that's quick. And I again used the elegant border dies. You'll remember the other night I used, let's see where it is, this straight one, and I didn't even clean it out yet. All right, so we used that one the other night. And then it also has these two, which are pretty. Let's get this in here. And tonight I decided to use this decorative one because it matches a little bit to the Magnolia. Rainy and 48. Oh my word. Thanks. Thanks, Stu. It's I don't know what it is here today. We have the windows open. 75. Is that what you said? 75? Bill's talking to me through the wall. So I have this decorative edge that I am going to die cut. All right. So we have our soft sea foam, and this is 8.5 by 5.5. And of course, to make our card base, we're scoring it at 4.25. Now you don't have to keep track of the measurements. I will have them on my blog in the morning. So we're going to layer this up with some mossy meadow. And this mossy meadow is 5 by 3 3/4. And then my basic white layer is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my, I was going to grab my tape, but I don't see it. Oh, here it is. going to grab my washi tape. And you'll notice on this die that there is one edge that's a cutter, and then this is just the cutouts. So we want the cutting edge right at the edge of our paper. And I'm just going to try to center it to this little piece here. There's a little V in the paper. Good evening, whoever just popped in. I hope you're doing well. So I'm just going to move this over, and I'm going to grab my washi tape, and I am just going to tape it down so it's right at the edge of my paper. I want it to be pretty even. All right, so we're going to tape that down. After I die cut this, I am going to then run it through again with the time-worn type embossing folder. Okay, so let me just do that quick. All right, so you can see it die cut our edge. I'm just going to take my pokey tool and take my pieces out here before I run it through. So I hope everybody's doing well. It was really a pretty day out today. I know that, I was looking, Oklahoma and Kentucky were having tornadoes today. I don't know if it's still happening, but they had some crazy weather today. All right, let's get rid of this. And we're going to take this one piece out here. And we could leave it without embossing it, but I think I'm going to emboss it. So here's the front of my layer, okay? And I am going to line it up on my embossing folder, right up at the line. And the front is facing the Stampin' Up logo, okay? Hey, Kathy. Hey, Liara. Is that Liara saying hi, Nanny? Or is that Elle? All right, so let's run that through. Now we have it embossed with the time-worn type. So it makes it look, hey, Liara. All right. Oh, Missouri had, oh, wow. Okay. I know I had seen Oklahoma and Kentucky. All right, so let's take some of our glue, and I might have to open a new one. It's feeling a little empty. Let's see if we have a different one here. That's better. And we're going to add some glue. Maybe not. That's two. Third one is a charm. I probably have 3 empty ones here. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're going to lay this down on our mossy meadow. I want to just get it so it is fairly centered. All right. And then we're going to add our glue again. You know what? I may just open a new one. And we're going to lay this right on the front. All right, now I don't like how this little piece is sticking up here. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap, add a little bit of glue, and just stick that down. All right, let's grab a glue here. We'll close these up, and what I like to do is when I'm creating by myself, I'll cut open the glue and use a paintbrush to clean out the glue so I don't waste any. All right, so here is, hello, your winter weather again. Oh my word. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of winter, huh? All right, so what I did next is, let me grab my, here they are. I grabbed this large die cut, which is beautiful. It has all this texture on the flowers. And I die cut it from Bubble Bath. Okay, just a beautiful bubble bath. And we are going to adhere this to the front of our card. Now you want to, I was going to say, you want to be careful because these little, the texture on this die, it's actually little lines cut in the paper. So I really don't want the glue coming through. So we'll just add a little bit of glue, and we're going to add this right to our layer. All right, just like that, just to decorate the front of our card. Next, I stamped this little rose right here in smoky slate, and it is a really pretty image. Let me see if I can get a little scrap here. So we just use some smoky slate, and you can see the detail in this image. All right, now I only made 2 cards tonight because I wanted to show you. Here's my image right here. I'm going to try to come in a little bit. I'm just going to show you real quick how I colored all the images. All right, I have light mossy meadow, light old olive. I have my color lifter. I have light smoky slate. And then I have dark and light bubble bath. All right. And I'm looking at this image here. And this little piece in the center is sticking up. So again, just going to add a little bit of glue. And I'm going to stick my paper underneath there and glue that down. All right, so looking at this image, I'm going to focus on the flower first. And I'm going to take my light smoky slate, and where the artist has her shadow lines, I am going to add a little bit of smoky slate, and then right here, so it's just in these deep pockets of the flower. So I just want to brush in just a little bit of color in those deepest of recesses. All right. Then I'm going to take the dark bubble bath, and I'm going to go over that slate, smoky slate, and just extend the color around. So we're just going to go over and extend. So that's all I'm doing is I'm just going over what I just colored with smoky slate. Now I see a little petal right back here. I'm going to color that in completely. And the same thing with this petal that's up here. I'm going to color it in completely. And then I'm just going to add some color. Then I'm going to take my bubble bath, the light, and I'm just going to color in each petal, going over everything I just colored. All right. And then I'm going to just go back and add a little bit more dark. And it looks dark now, but it will dry a little later. And then if you don't like the way it's blending, just go over that edge a little bit more. All right, so there we have our little flower. Yes, it is bubble bath, light and dark bubble bath, light smoky slate. Then I'm going to grab my light mossy meadow and I'm going to hit all, and I forgot this little piece right here, so I'll come back to that. You can see these leaves. There's a vein, so I'm going to go on the bottom of that vein. And then on the top, I'm going to go over that vein. And I'm just going to flick some color out. Then I'm going to come over to this one. We can see we have a curl in the leaf, and there's a dark spot. And then I'm going to come on one side of that vein, the other side of that vein, and then I'm going to flick in some color from the top. All right, I'm going to hit these stems, and that's light mossy meadow. Then I'm going to take my light old olive and I'm going to go to on these stems again, and I'm going to just hit that stem underneath that little flower. Okay. Now what I'm going to do with the old olive is I am just going to go over the edge of what I just colored, and then I'm going to outline, okay? And I'm going to outline, and I'm just going to go over that mossy meadow. Just try to blend that color in a little bit, all right? So I just added one layer of old olive. Now I'm going to take the old olive again, and I'm just going to wash the color completely over the leaf. One swipe, okay? You don't want to keep going over the same area. You just want to go one swipe, because what'll happen is when you double the layer of the old olive, and the camera is a little off, it'll keep it darker, and then one layer of old olive will give you your highlight. So I'm going to head over here to this little flower, and I'm going to color it all in completely with bubble bath light, and then I'm going to grab the bubble bath dark, and I'm just going to go over the artist lines. And then our flower is finished. I did already die cut a frame from Thoughtful Expressions, and this is in Bubble Bath. And I am going to grab my scrap piece of white, basic white, and let's see. All right, I'm just looking here. Where did my stamp go? Oh, here it is, on the other side of the flower. So we're going to do Sometimes There Are No Words, and I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. All right, and as you can see, I have a runaway gem sticking to my block. And I'm going to grab the smaller frame to the Thoughtful Expressions. Instead of cutting the frame and trying to make it straight, I figured I would stamp the sentiment and then die cut it. Then this way I just can't make a mistake, right? So let me die cut this quick. All right. And we're just going to adhere this with a little bit of glue. I'm going to do it towards the center. And we're going to lay it down. We're going to add our flower. I'm just going to add a bit of glue. Right here. All right, so then we have our sentiment. The die set. Yes, sure. It is the Thoughtful Expressions. This is, let's see where my stamp set is. Oh, it's right here. It's the stamp set that goes with this. It's the dies that go with the stamp set. Thoughtful Expressions. And it has these pretty frame dies. And the dies that I'm using tonight. I just want to, what did I just do? Oh, here it is. I put this away before it gets lost. Then it has the hummingbird, the flowers, and so, this flower and some leaves. So this is the die set that goes to the Thoughtful Expressions stamp set. All right, and it is item number for the dies 162821. All right, so here is our sentiment. I'm going to just grab my ribbon here. And I did have so funny how things disappear on my desk. It is just crazy. I had my pearls and they have disappeared. Maybe I put them in my basket. Nope. How crazy is that? I know they're probably just right here staring me in the face because I saw them before. How crazy. crazy. I just don't know. All right, so they'll come up. They'll pop up sometime here. So we're going to pop this up. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to add my dimensionals to the center, and then I'm also going to add one to that flower. And we're going to just add it right over to the right-hand side of our card. All right. And it looks crooked, but it's because of my camera. All right. So let's grab some ribbon. And we'll tie a bow. I'm still looking as I'm talking to you. I'm looking around to see what I did with those little pearls. Heavens to Betsy. It is so crazy. I don't know how. That was like today when I was making these cards. I did some die cuts. And here it is. Here's the die right here. Let me just get this up here. This is the leaves from the Magnolia dies. I die cut that, and I die cut a different leaf from the same set. The other die, the leaves fell out easily. This one, the paper stayed in. So imagine now that the old olive paper is inside that die. I'm putting my die, and it was extra, so I didn't use it. I'm putting my paper and everything away, putting the dies up so none of them get lost. And I am one die short for the Magnolia. And I searched everywhere. The floor, the garbage, you name it, I searched. Could not find it. Gave up. It was right here, believe it or not, sitting right here with the paper in it. And I didn't realize that the die was underneath the paper. I was looking for like 45 minutes. So how crazy is that? All right, so there is the front of our card. Thank you. Hey, Debbie. Thank you. All right, so, oh, here they are. Here are, see, I knew I would find them. I think these were from, trying to think what these were from. An old set. The hydrangea, maybe. I think that was from the hydrangea bundle. So we're just going to add 3 little pearls. And that's the front of our card. Now for the inside of our card, again, very, very simple. We are going to put a matte layer of soft seafoam. And then we are going to grab our white layer again. Let's just move that out of the way. I'm going to lay down the elegant border. Try to get it on here again as centered as can be. Let me run this through. All right, so we got that. I'm just going to put that in my container so I don't lose it again. And we're just going to poke all these out. Come on, there you go. And then we're going to just adhere this to the inside of the card. But we're going to get all these pieces out first. I love these dies. I just hate all these little pieces. Sometimes they come out. I need to buy new plates again. My plates are a mess. So it's not cutting as good as it should. All right, there we go. All right, so we have our layer for our inside. I'm going to use some seal because you know I don't like using glue on this layer. And I'm just going to line it up. Just like that. All right, so here's the inside of our card. If you don't like that this is not attached, thanks, Kathy, you can add some adhesive, or some glue to that. Now for the inside, here it is. I used this flower here. All right, let me just get a scrap piece of paper. And again, I stamped it in smoky slate. And the reason I've been was using smoky slate is it's not as bold. All right, the image is just not as bold. And what I did, same thing. I'm not going to do the leaves. I did the same as the smaller one. For this one, I used light smoky slate again. And again, those dark little areas underneath these individual petals, I guess they are, I added some light smoky slate just to give it some depth. All right. Then I took my dark bubble bath and I went over that, came up into it, and also went around it. So I just added and then outlined and outlined. And I did this to each individual little petal until the whole image was colored. Okay, so imagine that I did every single one of them, and then I just gave it a quick wash of color. So when I was done, I have my image right here. All right, and this one I'm gonna add some more excuse me, it's warm in here tonight. I'm gonna add some more darkness. When your shadows are, when you add your shadows and you put them in and they're dark, it contrasts and shows your highlights better. All right, so I'm just gonna take my light bubble bath. I'm just gonna extend on that color. So it's a little bit more, and you'll see I'm just going to take this image, pull in my inside. I'm going to grab my glue. And we're going to add some glue. I'm also going to add it down here. And I'm just going to center this. And glue it. A little bit of glue there. And we're just going to grab it, add some glue. And add it to our card. And there is our first card. I think what I'm going to do is this image will be my next Patreon. Because you'll see here I did not add the slate, smoky slate. It's a little softer. This one I did add the smoky slate. And you'll see here are the roses that we've been coloring. Now this is in pencil. We've been coloring these roses in the Patreon group this month. I think I'm going to do the magnolias next month, I think. Thanks, Debbie. Okay. Now we're going to head to this card here. We again have some soft sea foam, 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. And like I said, you don't have to worry about the dimensions. I will have them on my blog in the morning. But while I have everybody's attention, I just want to let you know that this month, when you place an order with me in my online store, using the host code that I did not put up, it's in the group. I am giving away, as a thank you, the take your pick tool. All right, that is my thank you this month for placing an order. And I'll have to check to see what the host code is. It's on in the group. All right, so we're going to layer up again, and we're going to layer it up with Mossy Meadow, and this should be probably 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and of course, nope, 5 1/4 by 4, and then we have 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab this little flower, and I think it's going to be a little darker than what's on the front of this card, only because I re-inked my stamp pad. So I'm just going to pull some of the ink down so it's not so dark. And we are just going to randomly stamp this image all over the front. I'm not worried about the inside. All right, so just a few stamped images, and we're going to adhere that to our Mossy Meadow. So let's add some seal. I'm just going to layer this down. Making sure it is centered. All right. And then we're going to take a piece of ribbon. And everybody knows that's been here before. I do not like wrapping and tying at the same time. So I cut my ribbon. And then I add my glue dots. And then I lay my ribbon down. And tuck it behind. You're in Idaho, right, Karen? Hey, Sharon. Oh, you are so welcome. I hope you can use it. All right, so we're just going to adhere this to the front of our card. All right, let's make sure our ribbon is even. We can manipulate it a little bit. All right, so there's the front of our card. So what I did is I grabbed those Thoughtful Expression dies again, and I used this one here and die cut it out of the Mossy Meadow, and then ran it through the cut and emboss machine with the Time Worn type. All right. And we are going to take this, and I believe I popped it up onto the front of the card. So let's add some dimensionals. I'm just looking to see, make sure which way is up, because some of the words are in the right direction. So we're going to lay this right in the center, a little bit more towards the top. All right. Hey, Nan. Oh, you're fine. And with this, I already colored it. Here's the other Magnolia. And I did it exactly the same way. Wherever the artist had the darkest spots, I added smoky slate. Then I covered it and went over the other areas, almost like this. So here's the stamp here. Like I said, I think this is going to be a good Patreon image to color. All right, so it's a nice, soft image. And with using the smoky slate to stamp it, it's not so bold. So I would take my smoky slate, and I like to use the nib, and all these deep areas that are really, really dark is where I add some smoky slate. I'm going to add some right here. All right, just a couple little areas. Then I'm going to take my dark bubble bath, and I'm going to go over that and extend the color out. And where the artist has her lines, that's where I colored with the dark bubble bath. All right, because that would be shadow or little folds. So we go over that smoky slate, up the lines, and you'll see right here there's a shadow where that petal is folded over. And we're going to go around this petal, and we're just going to come up these lines. All right, and I did that for each individual petal. Then I'm going to take the light bubble bath, and we're just going to extend that color out. We just want to extend the color just to get it to blend together, because these pens don't blend together as well as Copics do. So we're just going to go over that edge. Next, what I did is I took my color lifter, and this is a folded over area, so I added some color lifter. Took my light bubble bath. It's not bubble gum. I always want to call it bubble gum. And now I'm going to color over the whole petal. All right. Same thing here. This petal is flipped over like a spoon. So I'm going to add some color lifter. And then I'm going to color in over the whole image, over the whole petal. And that's how the little edges are a little lighter than the rest of the flower. All right. So we're going to take this flower now and we're going to pop it up onto the front of our card. So let's get these dimensionals on here. And I don't want to put them too close to the edge because I want to tuck some leaves under. So we're going to take off these papers. Come on. And we're going to lay this right down in the center. Now here are the leaves that I die cut. And we're just going to add a little bit of glue. And tuck one there. Tuck one there. And then I'm going to come over here and tuck it under there. All right. Now this card has no sentiment, so you can add a sentiment to the inside or the outside before you give it away. If you need an anniversary card, or if you need a sympathy card or a birthday card, a thank you card, it's all ready for you to stamp your sentiment without having to create something different. Now we're going to grab a glue dot and we're going to just add it right here. Let's grab those pearls and we'll put one here and one there. All right, so there is the front of our second card. And then for the inside of this card, I'm just looking, my other ruler walked away. This is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, 5 1/4 by 4. And all I did for this one is I took that same small Magnolia and my smoky slate, and I'm just going to line it up in the corner and just stamp the flower in all 4 corners. Grab my seal lay this down. Add some glue. And add it to the center. And there is card number 2 and card number 1. And like I said, this is the new Magnolia Mood. It's an online exclusive, so you can only find it on in the online store. Thanks, Debbie. Hey, Kay. Thank you. And so it's only in the online store. And if you place an order this month, instead of doing make and takes, I'm giving the take your pick tool, okay, for placing an order in my online store. I'll add the host code to my blog post tomorrow with all the measurements for tonight's cards. I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope, thanks, Kathy. Good night, honey. Thank you. And I hope the weather by you is behaving. So have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow with our Fun Fold Friday. So you're welcome, Karen. So I'll talk to everybody tomorrow. You are all so welcome. Have a great night. Bye-bye.